Good evening, I'm Carrie Lazarus.
And I'm Rod Wood. In Wayne County, the manhunt continues tonight for the suspect who killed a mother and daughter in the town of Sodus on Sunday.
Now, police believe the victims, 54-year-old Terry Moulton and her 30-year-old daughter Stacy Moulton, interrupted a burglary at a friend's home. News Channel 9's Caitlin Nuclo tells us how the community is coping.
News of a mother and daughter murdered here is sending shockwaves through the close-knit rural community where everyone seems to know each other.
It kind of saddens me because it makes you wonder, walking up to that house to take care of the neighbor's cat. Darn, I wasn't going to do this. I'm sorry. You wonder what their last conversation was between each other.
State police back on the scene today, searching for evidence and following leads to find the killer. Investigators believe the mother and daughter walked in on a burglary because there were signs of forced entry in the home. Mom Terry Moulton and daughter Stacy were at the friend's home to take care of cats while he was on vacation.
Our condolences go out to Mr. Moulton and his family, and like anything, especially where you're extending yourselves to give care and comfort to another person and trying to help somebody out, they have to be in shock, and I can't imagine how they feel.
There is a vigil scheduled for the victims on Sunday in the town of Lyons in Wayne County. Live in the newsroom tonight, Caitlin Nuclo, News Channel 9.
Caitlin, thanks. And state police are now looking for a dark blue mid-size SUV, possibly a Mercury Mountaineer, that may have been involved in the crime. Anyone who may have seen that vehicle or who has information should call state police investigators at 585-398-4100.
We begin tonight with breaking news, something that will be reassuring for people in the Wayne County town of Sodus. We can tell you there has been an arrest in the double murders of a mother and a daughter there. Good evening. I'm Scott Kilberry.
I'm Janet Lomax. New York State Police tell News 10 NBC that a Rochester man is responsible. Investigators say this man, Dante Taylor, is in the Monroe County Jail tonight. Police say he killed Terry and Stacy Moulton. Their bodies were found inside a home on Route 14 in Sodus this past Sunday. Sharita Irves has been tracking the latest in this case all day. She is live now in Canandaigua with what she found out. Sharita?
We're live outside of the New York State Police offices where they're working on this case. Now, here's what we can tell you about the suspect. Police say Dante Taylor is from Rochester. He's facing felony murder charges. Now, investigators were able to track him down using leads and also a vehicle description. Now, family and friends are mourning the deaths of Terry and Stacy Moulton. Police say the two women were checking on a neighbor's cat. Now, a family member went looking for them when they didn't return, and that's when he discovered the bodies. Now, investigators say there was a fire burning inside of the home, which appears to be intentionally set to cover up this crime. Police say they suspect that these women stumbled upon a burglary. Now, investigators say this home was ransacked and the suspect was arrested Thursday.
In this particular instance, we had people that actually came forward to us, contacted us, and indicated that they may have had information. So they were ultimately deposed, and we also had a composite that was drawn up by one of the witnesses.
And community members are obviously very deeply saddened about what happened. A resident tells us that they're actually planning a vigil that's scheduled for Sunday at 6 o'clock at a gazebo in Lyons.
State police have announced the arrest of a Rochester parolee for a double murder in Sodus. 54-year-old Terry Moulton and her daughter, 30-year-old Stacy, were killed Sunday when they went to do a good deed for a neighbor. Vanessa Herring joins us now with news of this arrest. Vanessa?
Well, Maureen, state police say this investigation is still open as they're not sure if Dante Taylor acted alone. Taylor, who you mentioned, was on parole. He has an extensive criminal history and was on parole for robbery. Now, state police believe Terry and Stacy Moulton interrupted Taylor as he was burglarizing Sean Yeager's home on State Route 14 in Sodus Sunday afternoon. Yeager was on vacation, and state police do believe Taylor may have known that given the day and time of the burglary. The Moultons were at Yeager's home to feed his cat while he was away. State police say Taylor did have items from Yeager's home in his possession, and although Taylor is from Rochester, state police say he has relatives in Wayne County and acquaintances in Sodus and Lyons. Police were able to track Taylor down thanks to eyewitness descriptions of his vehicle.
Family members of the victims saw it earlier in the day, actually, when they were passing. They were on the route back from a breakfast. They all had breakfast together. They were on their way back to their house, which is just down the road, and they actually passed by the residence where the crime occurred, and they saw that vehicle parked in the driveway prior to that.
Now, Taylor is being held in the Monroe County Jail without bond for violating his parole until a parole hearing is scheduled. However, state police say they do expect an indictment from a grand jury on murder charges will come down before that hearing ever happens.
Well, it's been a tough week in a lot of communities. Good news maybe that it's bringing people together, including this story. Friends gathered last night to remember Terry and Stacy Moulton, the mother and daughter murdered in Sodus a week ago. Terry and Stacy were checking on a neighbor's pet last Sunday. The neighbor out of town, so they were trying to do a good deed. Well, police think they interrupted a burglary in progress, and they were killed. Those who knew the mother and daughter held a candlelight vigil to remember their lives. 13 Wham's Kelsey Smith reports.
They were the first to reach a hand out to anybody. You didn't have to be a neighbor.
Remembering a mother and daughter.
They were wonderful people, fellow Christians.
54-year-old Terry Moulton and her daughter, 30-year-old Stacy, were known for their kindness and love of animals.
If you know Stacy and Terry, you know that any animal in need got the help that it needed.
On July 14th, Terry and Stacy stopped at a friend's house in Sodus to check on the family's pets while they were out of town. That neighborly gesture would turn the small town upside down. Police say Terry and Stacy walked into a burglary in progress and were murdered.
People are frightened. People are really frightened. We always watch out for our neighbors' homes when we know that they're not there. And this totally took us by surprise.
Family friend Wanda Beal says in time they will heal, but will never be the same.
Because I don't think any of us will ever get back to normal. More people will be locking their doors. So we'll just have to see what time brings.
Beal and friends say they'll remember the women who touched so many lives.
And she was always very bubbly, always sticking her tongue out. Always smiling. She loved her horses. I mean, she was the epitome of what family, what people are supposed to be like within the human race.
Kelsey Smith, 13 Wham News.